There's cameras everywhere. There's makeup being put on. There's an intense amount of sound design that goes into the fight.
There are mics and towels. There are mics in water bottles. All the cameras have mics on it. There's a boom operator. The actual choreography of the miking is just as complex as the fight choreography.
It was really important for us that the fight was as visceral and real as possible. So the easiest way for us to do it was to create an 8-count structure.
We may hit on a 2, 4, 6.
It's boxing, but then we have to turn it into choreography and then turn it back into boxing.
The fight is full contact. Some nights it's not as hard and I sort of have to act more. Some nights it's really hard and I need to act less.
In most fight sequences, you're able to create lots of feints and tricks. In Rocky, there is no way to hide anything.
One of the things that seemed really fun was, could you actually bring in a Jumbotron?
The video was about providing the audience this view of the action that you can't get normally sitting in a theater seat.
All the bruises and blood, it has to look really perfect for the camera. So we have to teach everyone how to apply the makeup in a way that didn't look like makeup. They're doing it in 1, 2 moves, when even a professional makeup artist might spend minutes.
This is the most difficult and technical show I have ever done, and I've done quite a few shows.
These audiences are reacting as if they're watching a real fight, and I feel it on stage.
Even the most grizzled guys you see in the audience, you know, they may tell you that, yeah, I'm going to Rocky because I want to see the fight. They're not just going to see the fight, they're going to see the struggle. They're going to see the love story.
People walk out and say, I've never seen anything like that on Broadway or anywhere else.
Hello! That was so good.
Oh my God, I love the clips that Steven pulls for us.
I know, right?
I mean, I had no idea that we were going to see all of that. That was so cool hearing them talk about just their excitement for Rocky to open on Broadway, you know?
Also, can we take a second? Because we didn't talk about this in the episode. Full contact for that fight.
I mean, like I said in the podcast, that 20 minutes of that show, I mean, I don't know if I paid $10. I don't know if it was free. I would have paid more money just to see that 10 minutes. 15 minutes, 20 minutes over again, because it was so epic. So epic.
Well, everybody, welcome to After the Bells at My Favorite Flop. I'm Kristina.
And I'm Bobby, and we are the hosts of My Favorite Flop, the podcast.
The podcast. This past Tuesday, our podcast episode all about Rocky, the musical, like you just saw, landed. So you can find it anywhere you listen to podcasts. And I mean, literally anywhere.
And after you find it, make sure to click that little subscribe button. It's free. And write us a 5-star review so more awesome people like you can find us as well. Continue.
And then come and, oh yes, and also check out our website. There it is, down at the bottom. Also, come find us on the socials, because it truly brings joy to my days when you come and chat with us, and it makes me real happy.
It's literally all that's getting Kristina through this pandemic. So... Please. Just talk to her, please.
I don't get any other social interaction, you know what I'm saying? Anyways.
Well, anyways, today we are continuing the conversation about the fabulous flop that is Rocky the Musical by talking about that 2013-2014 Broadway season. You know, we discovered that there were a lot of great shows and a lot of flops there. So to join us, we have 2 very special guests to help us dig a little bit deeper into that, right?
Yes, we have new podcast friends. We're super excited to introduce the host of Breaking the Curtain, but not only Breaking the Curtain. Individually, these ladies also have their own podcast / blogs, and they are taking this business by storm.
Fierce and fabulous ladies. Oh my goodness.
Yes, they are.
All right, everyone, please give a round of applause for our special guests, Crissy and Jocelyn.
Hi, friends. Oh my goodness.
Crissy.
Jocelyn.
Jocelyn.
We'll figure it out. It's fine.
You know.
Welcome, you guys. We're so excited that you agreed to come and play with us. Let's make sure we properly introduce you, though. Bobby, take it away.
Okay, so Crissy, right below me, I think for everybody, is the creative genius behind Break a Leg, which is a blog you started last year, right? And it was kind of inspired by the pandemic and everything being shut down, yeah?
Exactly that. Yeah. I was like, I need to find some outlet to pursue theater still because I can't be on stage. I can't be in rehearsals. So I was like, you know what? Let's start a theater blog. And I did. And it has been honestly one of my biggest successes in life.
So amazing. And like, it is so great to see such a positive, like excited voice come out of the pandemic being your blog. But we don't just have Crissy. We also have Jocelyn.
Under me.
Under Kristina from Both Sides of the Curtain, which is also a blog. And your blog started the year before the pandemic, correct? 2019? Jocelyn, I think you're muted.
It's live theater, live theater, jazz hands. Okay.
But you know what? Her internet is a little finicky sometimes. She'll probably hop on her phone and join us that way.
It'll be great.
Well, Crissy, until Jocelyn gets back, let's talk a little bit more about your blog. So you started it what month last year?
Oh my gosh, I started it in end of March, early April, maybe April. Okay. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it was actually right before my studio that I'm a part of, Triple Threat Academy and Dance 123. We put on a nice year-end show and we had everything ready to go, and then we shut down. And we thought originally, like everywhere else, 2 weeks, we're going to be back here, leave everything there, costumes and such were left. And I was like, oh my gosh, I want to write a post dedicated to them. And that's really where it all took off. So yeah, it's been a ride.
Well, and then of course theater just didn't open up in 2 weeks like we thought. And
this week, the West End came back.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, how exciting is
Thank
that?
God. Isn't it?
And I am really excited to see how things are changing for them, like backstage as well as having to have limited audiences still. But also I'm excited to see the success that comes out of that. I think that will help people feel more comfortable. I think that will help the industry feel more comfortable to keep getting creative, right? We've seen a lot of creativity this past year for our industry, and I would really like to see them get creative with how to make sure we still get to have a live show in person, you know, and I hope that there is still people who are willing to pour money, so to speak, into it to help keep all of that creativity going.
I hear you.
Well, you know, I'm just saying.
Well, so you're not really in the UK, but kind of, sort of, Canada, right?
Yes,
I mean,
exactly.
And you both are in Toronto. We might have Jocelyn back.
I think she's back.
Hey!
I'm in Montreal, and she is, I know, right? Like, totally, we are 5-hour distance from each other.
I cannot hear you guys.
Oh, you cannot hear us.
Oh, no.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yeah? Okay, I can't hear you. I'm sorry, I'm having technical difficulties. I'm going to go restart my computer and be right back.
We'll see you soon.
Sounds good, friend.
No.
I know, she's just outside of Toronto. So she's just in a little town called Barrie.
Okay.
So that's around like 5.5 hours away from me. We haven't seen each other in a full year and a few months now. Yeah.
Wow.
Crazy.
And you're doing all of it remote. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, let's chat about Breaking the Curtain. So Breaking the Curtain is a hybrid of Both Sides of the Curtain, which is Jocelyn's podcast /blog. And then we've got your Crissy, your podcast, or sorry, blog, Breaking a Leg. Sorry, break a leg? Break a leg.
Yeah, you got it.
Not actually in the act of breaking the leg.
Not in the act.
But why don't you tell us a little bit more about Breaking the Curtain?
Sure. Yeah. So we originally started as just Break a Leg, the podcast.
Okay.
And then we were like, let's rebrand back in December, we decided to rebrand into Breaking the Curtain, give it a whole new theme, a whole new adventure. And from there, we started actually digging into finding people to join us on the podcast. And so far we've had so many awesome guests. We've had Christy Altamar, Constantine Maroulis, oh my gosh, Giovanni Spano. We've had cast members from Bat Out of Hell join us.
Love it.
It's been amazing. Yeah.
That's so exciting.
Bobby Rydell, like, let's focus on Jocelyn. Hi, Jocelyn.
Hi, sorry about that. My computer is like 6 years old, so she's doing her best.
I mean, mine is on the verge. I think I'm about 4 years in, and I'm like, Apple's got that ticking time bomb. Once you get to 5 years, like, cross your fingers.
Yeah.
All right, so let me just finish introducing you, Jocelyn, so we can jump into this quick fire to get to know you guys better. So you are the blog creator of Both Sides of the Curtain, which is super fascinating because you talk about your experience as a performer, but also with people who work in the theater and other fields, right?
Yeah, it's kind of like I graduated school and I went right into a job directing. And after that, it was kind of like, now what? I didn't know what to do. I was auditioning and I just needed a creative outlet. And I love talking about theater. So I was like, maybe I should do that somewhere else. And I'll find people who don't want me to like stop talking when I talk a lot about theater. So I went and I found my people. I've had lovely people join me. And really, it's just talking about how theater is amazing and should be amazing for everybody on both sides of the curtain. Wherever you are, it's just such a lovely thing to be a part of, a lovely community to be a part of. And it's been such a lovely little blog journey. And now we're doing a podcast, which is something I never thought I'd be doing because I am not tech savvy at all, as you can see.
Good. You are so good.
Oh my gosh, you guys. Okay. So we've introduced you. We love you. It's going to be great.
Love you.
Now, we do this quick fire round. We kind of started this back with Mark Tuminelli, and it's just really been my new favorite thing to do when we have guests. So we're going to ask you some really random questions to help people get to know you a bit better. Are you ready for this?
Amazing. Let's do it.
Great. Bobby, take it away.
So this is for both of you, and I'm going to start with Jocelyn. Okay, Jocelyn. Jocelyn, what are you obsessed with right now? Oh, Jocelyn, what are you obsessed with right now?
Fearless, Taylor's version.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
Fearless.
Okay.
Oh, poor thing. I love her.
The nostalgia is real.
Amazing. Well, Crissy, what are you obsessed with right now?
Oh my gosh. Well, to tag team on that, I'm going to say Olivia Rodrigo. I think her music is like, oh, it's killing my heart. I love it so much. Obsessed.
I mean, and how amazing that High School, the musical, the series star is becoming a real star. Like,
right? Yeah. I'm trying to get Jocelyn into that. I'm like, we have to watch season 2 together and then talk about it.
Love that. All right. So, ladies, what are your Tim Horton orders?
Okay. Jocelyn, do you want to? Me? Okay.
Yeah.
Gosh. You know what?
I love this.
It changes all the time, but I'm going to say I like a sour cream non-glazed donut because they have glazed form or non-glazed. And I'm going to go with non-glazed and a classic ice cap. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Nice.
I think we got Jocelyn Black to enter. Nope. Answer.
Nope. Her signal keeps getting held up at immigration, friends. That's what happens.
Well, I do love me a good Tim Hortons. I had a couple Canadian friends, and there are a couple in New York City.
Yes, there are.
Hiding, and every Canadian knows exactly where they are.
Oh yeah, we've been.
Okay,
go for it. No, let's go for it, Bobby. What do we got?
Well, fill in the blank. Patti LuPone should play blank in Bat Out of Hell.
Oh my gosh. She should play Sloane in Bat Out of Hell. That would do me in, friends. I I need it now.
Thank God, her singing with Paradise by the Dashboard Light, right? Oh gosh.
On the car in the sparkly dress, please. That's a dream. Oh my God.
Oh, Lord in heaven.
Brilliant.
Okay, so, all right, Crissy, what is your favorite song in your book, in your audition?
Oh my gosh. Okay. No, I recently went through it during the pandemic. I was like, let's change some things up. But some classics in my book would be Snapshot in My Memory from Island Song. I love that.
Okay.
And also, You've Got Possibilities. Superman.
Always a good choice.
Fun one.
It's a good one.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's a good one. You continue, Kristina.
Yeah. All right, Crissy, who's your favorite Disney princess?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so this is a bit of a cheat, but I'm going to say Giselle from Enchanted. She is, you know, if you listen to the latest
I don't think this is a cheat.
Right? She's like, she should be a princess.
She is a princess, and she's in a Disney movie.
And all the other Disney princesses were in the background of that movie. So
yes.
there you go.
Although she did not make it into the princess scene during Ralph Breaks the Internet, which is upsetting.
Yeah.
I'm shocked that didn't happen. Amy Adams she's expensive.
It's true. They couldn't even have her at Disney. That was the whole thing.
What was the first Broadway show you ever saw?
Oh, you know what? Sticking to the theme of Disney, my first Broadway show was The Little Mermaid, and I loved it so much. We were like, let's go again. So we went 2 nights in a row, and it was just magical. So magical.
Did you get to see the entire original cast?
No, you know what? I saw the cast right after, but loved them all just the same. They were incredible. And the night I was there, Corbin Bleu was actually in the audience, and I was like, oh my God, this is a star-studded event.
I mean, little did you know that Corbin Bleu goes to everything in New York. But
right though?
Yeah, but I like the added hand look.
I know. It's like, oh my God, why did they have a flashlight in the middle of the show? And then we see him at the stage door, and we're like, oh my God, a High School Musical reunion with Drew Seeley.
All right, so Jocelyn, your Tim Hortons order.
All right, so now that they have the cold brew, I like the vanilla cream cold brew, and I love their breakfast wraps. I think they're so fun. And all day breakfast is an amazing thing. So definitely one of those and the biggest coffee imaginable.
Biggest one imaginable.
All right, Jocelyn, we missed this one. What is your favorite song from your book?
Always.
What was your favorite song from your book? Uh-oh.
Oh no.
It's going
I'm
really
here.
well.
I'm so sorry. I'm very embarrassed.
No, you're
No,
good.
you are not allowed to be embarrassed. There is no embarrassment. You can't control the internet.
You're a cutie.
No.
I think we should jump. I think we should jump to the most important question. I think you should ask it, Kristina.
Yes.
Go.
What is the weirdest survival job you have ever had, Jocelyn?
Okay, so I used to work at a mall in customer service, and it was such a great job. There were amazing people there. It was just a lot of really weird people come to the mall because we're right off the 400 series highway. If you're from Ontario, you know what that is. If you don't, it's a big highway on the way to Toronto. So we're right in between the city and cottage country. So there's a lot of weird stuff that goes down. But I think the weirdest part of it, I'm the mascot. So there were a couple events where I was wearing, so it's a Tanger outlet mall. And I think they have a Tanger Tanger's a thing in the States. It's the Tangaroo. So I got to be in this big Tangaroo mascot costume and dance around to boost employee morale. There are photos somewhere. I also got to be an elf at Christmas time. They kind of were like, oh, you're a theater kid. We're going to put you in costumes.
Yes.
I mean,
yeah. So super weird, but I am the voice on the phone, for the directory. So that was kind of a cool thing.
Claim to fame right there, friends.
On my resume.
Booked it. All right. Well, Jocelyn, you first. Crissy, you'll answer second. What is your favorite flop?
I love The Last Ship so much.
Okay.
All right.
And
from this season.
Yeah, and it's I never saw it on Broadway, but you know, there are ways to see things. And I actually got to finally see it in Toronto when the new production came, and I got to see Sting in it.
All right, that's cool.
Yeah, he signed my program and everything. It's like my prized possession. I love the show. It has so much heart. It has good music. And I'm like, why do more people not love this show? It's so good. I've always been obsessed with it. I think Sting is a genius. And yeah, anyway, and the set design,
it was epic. It was epic. Well, Crissy, what is yours?
Oh my gosh. Okay, mine is, it has to be Carrie. I mean,
oh, Bobby.
A classic flop, you know, as you will.
A good one.
It's Bobby's favorite, like literal favorite.
Yes.
Like musical ever, not just flop, but
yeah,
anyway.
not just.
Oh yeah, me too. Like,
yeah, hers too.
Oh yeah.
So good. So good. Well, those are great answers.
So we're gonna get down to the actual like nitty gritty of what we're talking about tonight.
Okay.
So this season was a big deal. It was a big season, 2013 to 2014, right? The Broadway season. And it was also a great place for our podcast to have a lot of episodes because there were a lot of flops. And not just Rocky the Musical. There were a ton. So we're going to be discussing that whole season. Yeah?
But we're going to start by talking about Rocky, since that's what our episode was about this week. Did either of you have a reaction? Do you remember when they announced that Rocky was going to be a musical?
Yeah, I totally do. And I remember being like, I don't know, in my brain it made sense because it's such a beloved film. And I was like, of course it's going to be a musical, right? Because that's how it seems. It kind of went like that for a few years in a row, where it was like a really popular film that everyone loved would then become a musical and go to Broadway. And unfortunately, a lot would like inevitably flop. But, you know, when I heard about the ending that you all talked about in your podcast episode, I was like, yeah, this is going to do well. And I thought it would go on for quite a while, and unfortunately it didn't. But yeah, I do remember that. And I remember the day it was announced that Andy Carl would be Rocky, and I was like, yes, this is gonna work.
I mean, what other musical theater leading man do you get to play Rocky? I really would like to know if anyone else had any ideas, because I didn't. No, there isn't.
There's not. Well, Jocelyn, did you have a similar? Were you like, yeah, this makes sense, or? Oh, I think we got her back. All right, Jocelyn, did you have
my reaction was kind of different. So, like, my dad and my brother are into all those sort of classic movies that are kind of along the same line as Rocky. Oh.
Okay. So from this season, like we said, there are several flops to cover. But rumor has it, Crissy, that you got to see one of the final performances of JRB's Bridges.
I did.
So, and you had a bit of a transformative experience, and I'm a big fan of a transformative theater experience. So why don't you tell us a little bit about what that was like for you?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so yeah, I saw the second to last performance of the Bridges of Madison County. Actually, you know what? I will lead you right into this story with a little pre-story. My group of friends and I booked really early on, and we were like, yes, we have to see this. Love the film, love the book. Kelly O'Hara. I mean, come on.
Yes.
Jason Robert Brown. We had to go. And as I was baking the 2014 Pinterest classic apple chips, it was announced that it was closing before our date to see the show. So like almost set the house on fire. The oven was smoking up as I'm on the phone like, oh my God, we have to like reschedule, rebook, get those tickets in before they sell out. Anyways, we end up going. I had standing room, and
nice,
as you do. And I think I cried from start to finish. It is one of the most beautiful shows I've ever seen. And I even remember at intermission, an usher was like, "Oh, are you Jason Robert Brown's niece?" And I was like, "No."
Yeah, sure.
But yeah, tonight I am. And because I guess no one could understand how anyone got like the last standing room ticket in there without knowing someone. It was like that packed in there. The house was honestly electric. There wasn't a moment that they didn't just like erupt in applause, especially during Steven's number, It All Fades Away. It just, oh my gosh. And there was this gorgeous moment as well where I think it was actually during that song where Kelly walks in from the back of the theater and then walks down the aisle for the final scene. And like the whole audience just like gasps as she's walking down. It was truly a moment in time. And I just wish that show had more recognition because it is a masterpiece. Truly, truly.
Mm-hmm.
It's beautiful score.
It is.
I think it'll definitely get some sort of revival at some point because people are obsessed. So in addition to Rocky and Bridges, I mean, like Kristina said, there was a ton. First Date, Soul Doctor, Big Fish, If Then, The Last Ship, Bullets Over Broadway. Jocelyn, do you have any kind of like conjectures about why this season attracted so many shows that didn't do so well?
I actually do. I've been thinking about this. I got ready. I have my notebook. So I was looking at all of the names, and there's so many amazing shows on this list. Like, I mean, if I was going to the theater and these were all the shows available, I wouldn't be able to choose. But, you know, you had Hedwig, which is pretty big. You had the Les Mis revival. Aladdin opened. So you have kind of a bunch of big blockbuster style musicals that are opening with people like Neil Patrick Harris, Ramin Karimloo, right? So a Disney musical opened. So when you kind of think about the demographic that would travel to New York to see a show, they're probably going to see some of those, you know, bigger ones, right? They might not know about Big Fish. Or in the case of Rocky, kind of doubling back to your first question, they might go, a Rocky musical? How's that going to work? And instead of being curious, like, I mean, I would have been curious and been like, I got to see that. They would go, oh, well, I'm going to spend my money on something I know is going to be of a certain caliber. Because, I mean, I'm pretty cheap. When I'm spending my money on a show, I want to kind of ensure that I'll have a good time because there's only, you know, so many shows you can see. So I think that's kind of like the ultimate thing for people. They want the security of something like Les Mis, or seeing someone like Neil Patrick Harris and Hedwig, or a family-friendly Disney show, because they have that kind of security now. I don't know.
I totally agree with you.
That's my theory.
I was giving walking tours in the theater district at the time, and I would tell people about all these shows. Like, I literally saw this entire season, and I loved First Date. I'm one of those people.
Me too.
I tried to convince everybody to go, and they're like, well, Aladdin or this one or whatever. And I'm like, here's the deal. They know me at the box office. I will take you in and you can get $25 tickets. And they're like, okay, well, if I could get $25 tickets to it. And then they would love it, you know, but it was like, unless the $25 thing was the one thing that got them in. Otherwise, it's like if you're paying $100, $150 to go see something, you want to see Neil Patrick Harris, Aladdin, 100%. I totally agree with you, Jocelyn. That makes sense.
Well, and it's interesting you bring up that Aladdin opened that season. There weren't a ton of family-friendly musicals that season. I mean, Big Fish could probably be considered family-friendly, but I mean, the movie, it's not really considered family-friendly, right? Like, it's very fantastical and has all these amazing stories, but it's not necessarily Disney. It's not the first thing that comes to your head when you think family-friendly musical. So I bet you that's a big part of that conversation, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
Well, did you all have any? I mean, we know you liked Bridges, Crissy. Were there any other shows that opened the season that you guys, or you ladies, sorry, asshole, became obsessed with or have become obsessed with? Because, like Jocelyn, like you were saying, if you saw this list, you would want to buy tickets to all of them. There's some good ones.
Yeah, there's so many. Like, we are obsessed with Beautiful. If you know, I think most people who know our podcast know that. And we got to speak with Shalina Kennedy, who is my number one theater idol. I could barely speak, and my computer did the thing it did today in front of her, and I was like, my hair turned white. This is a dye job. But First Date is one of my favorites. I don't know if you guys saw the filmed version streamed from London. They did it like a little movie style thing with Crazy Cox. It had Sam Barks as Casey, and it was so good. There are probably highlights somewhere. You should look it up. I don't know if it's available, but I'm pretty sure if you Googled a certain way, you might be able to find it. And Gentleman's Guide to Love and Murder, Big Fish, Hedvig. Obviously, the Les Mis revival had its out-of-town tryout in Toronto, so obsessed with it. I saw Ramin do that, and that was like life-changing, transformative experience.
I'm sure.
Yeah,
oh my God.
He's absurd.
He is like, and you know, he's from Canada.
Is he really?
Yeah, so he's Iranian Canadian. They immigrated to Canada when he was younger. No, everybody thinks that, but it's not true. He grew up in the Toronto area, and actually his like theater come to theater story was seeing Colm Wilkinson in Phantom in Toronto when it had its out-of-town tryout.
No.
And my transformative moment was seeing him do Les Mis in Toronto at its out-of-town tryout. So he's a Canadian theater legend.
Wow, you learn things every day. I had no idea, and I should know that. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Wow. How crazy. He was our friend Neil. He was his best man. And Neil's English, which is why I just assumed.
Well, I think he did spend a lot of time in the UK, right?
Yeah, he's done a bunch of West End, which is where they met. They met doing Miss Saigon on the West End.
Okay,
yeah. Also, we have a friend watching, Final Gwen. I'm so sorry, Final Gwen. I don't know your real name.
Hi, Gwen.
But she's in the UK, and she says that she's real excited about Tim Hortons in the UK. Apparently that's a thing. So
it is.
Woo!
We need more Tim Hortons everywhere. We need them in Vegas. We need them in Las Vegas.
I'm surprised it's not in Las Vegas because it's Vegas. You know what I mean? Like, everybody goes to Vegas.
Anywhere with international travel, a Tim Hortons is always nice. I remember I went to Paris and there was no Tim Hortons. The first thing I did, I got home, I went and I got myself a Tim Hortons coffee.
Yes,
that's what you do.
I hope you didn't go to Starbucks in Paris, though, please.
No!
Like, thank you. Okay, because like you could literally get bad coffee at any cafe in Paris, and it would be better than Starbucks. But
I mean, it would do the same. I'd get In-N-Out burger the minute I got home.
Yeah.
I did do that when I got back from Asia. I was like, In-N-Out burger, where you at?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, Crissy, what about you? You said Bridges. Was there anything else in that season?
Oh my gosh.
You have just latched on to?
So many shows, like Beautiful, of course, and no, I actually really loved the Les Mis revival. I saw that one like 4 times on Broadway, and it was so magical. Ramin, of course, and just everyone. I loved the new costumes, and I love that one a lot. Hedwig, of course, was like that one I really wanted to see, but I think the last ticket that I could get for the time I was in New York that year was like $450. And I was like, I can't do it.
No, honey,
My heart
that's when
said
you
yes,
go
but my head
15
said-
minutes to curtain like I did. And that is how I got a $20 ticket.
Oh, I'm jealous. Okay, that's amazing.
Yeah, I saw Darren Criss do it. I didn't get to see Neil. But you go for those single seats where they're like, we just want to fill the theater. And I'm like, great, take my $20.
Yes, I would stand in my heels at standing room like I did at Bridges for 2.5 hours. Worth it.
Commitment.
Worth it, you know?
Well, so we have another guest watching today, Connie from Facebook. She says, it's so great to hear all the passion here. Aww. It's amazing. Well, speaking of
Hi,
passion,
Connie.
like when we were talking about what we would talk on this episode, you both remarked how obsessed with this Tony Awards specifically you were.
Yes.
So why don't we jump into like that, right?
Yes, please.
It was not only an epic Broadway season in life for flops, but it was a pretty epic Tony Awards, yeah?
It was, yeah. Yeah, you know, one big takeaway that I always think of almost daily is when Lena Hall won and gave that speech. I still cry watching it. I rewatched that today because I was like, I knew we were gonna have this chat. And I'm like, oh my God, friendship is magic, friends. We love Lena Hall.
Lena Hall is incredible.
I remember, so she was on, I'm sure you guys did, or you ladies, watched Legally Blonde, The Search for the Next Elle Woods on MTV, right?
Of course. Of course.
When she was Selena Caraval and Lena Hall. You know, Kristina and I went to college with Rhiannon, who won 3rd place on that show.
No way.
Yeah.
So
we went to
cool.
college with her. But Lena Hall, her career has totally been insane. From like that show to Toxic Avenger. I don't know if y'all are fans. Yes. Oh my gosh. And then to Hedwig in the Tony Award. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. In that speech. So amazing.
Yeah, exactly. That's where I first heard of her, was Legally Blonde, Search for the Next Elle Woods. And then following her career since then to see her on the Tonys and winning, I was like, wow, you know, that is a dream come true moment and so inspiring to watch for a young aspiring theater performer such as myself, you know. And yeah, that was a good season full of dreams coming true, really. You know,
it really was. I mean, one standout speech, since we're talking about those, Sophie Okonedo's acceptance speech. I was like, whoa.
Yes.
Oh man, and she so well deserved. Well deserved.
Yeah, 100%.
I also really loved Dule Hill. That was one of my standouts of the performances, right? Like of the performances at the Tonys. Mostly because I'm obsessed with Dule Hill. Like I watched him on Psych, like my middle school, high school years. That was my jam because I'm a weirdo. So good. It's so good. And I love it. And then when I was like, wait, this man can tap?
Yeah.
Wait, he like grew up on stage. Wait. And like my mind was blown at 16 when I realized that, because I was a dancer and I was like, wait, people on TV also do this? Yes. I need to do this. Like that was like a great aha moment for me.
I know, it's always a shocker, right? You're always like, what?
I know.
They can do that too?
It's like I learned recently that before she became a big deal, oh, my husband's going to laugh at me because I always forget her name. That's so bad. She's the Welsh. Come on, Bobby, help me out. Welsh actress.
Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Thank you. I'm so bad at names, you guys. So Catherine Zeta-Jones, before she became Catherine Zeta-Jones, was the lead in 42nd Street.
In the West End.
On the West End.
That.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was Peggy Sawyer.
She posted her video of her doing the big tap break, and I was like, holy Jesus. This
I know
woman,
what I'm doing after.
Yeah, no, I'm not kidding. Go
It's
watch
on
it.
I mean, you could probably find it on YouTube, but she's posted it like on International Dance Day. She's like, just a reminder, I do this. Like,
just casually, like, hey, by the way, check out this video of me.
No, really, it was, and she posted it. I was like, I'm sorry, what? I'm sorry, you did what now?
Oh my
gosh.
gosh.
42nd Street, and that tap break is difficult. And what?
Yeah.
Connie, we will totally post it in the comments to this video on Facebook.
Yes, Connie, we will. We will post it. Also, thank you for watching Mark Tuminelli. We love him. We have so many fans. It's so exciting. Yes, but there were a lot of big standouts. Although, let's just for a second talk about Hugh Jackman's entrance.
That's
no.
Like just
I remember watching that and just being really confused because I thought it was going to go into something more, and then it just ended.
But never lost his breath.
Never
Lost his breath. That man is in such great shape that he jumped for 20 minutes while talking.
Incredible.
It was I remember the anticipation was so high for the host the Tony Awards again, because I don't know if y'all remember the one from years before where he opened with One Night Only, and it was the best opening number like ever. Like everyone came out and he was kicking to his face and singing One Night Only, and it was like, here's Broadway everywhere. And then we get Bouncy.
And then he gets in the elevator with Neil, and you're just like,
what?
And it's apparently a reference to a classic movie musical moment, but I still don't even know which one it is.
I could not tell you. And the year before,
did not pick up on that.
The year before was the big number that Neil did too, with like all the shows and
Well, and then he comes back the next 2 years and is like, "Step aside, Hugh Jackman. You're bouncing. Get out the way."
God.
Hugh Jackman.
Yeah. Oh, we love Hugh Jackman. We really
I'm obsessed with that man. I am. The man popped his own stitches because he couldn't not sing.
Crazy.
He's a beautiful man.
He is a beautiful man. He is a very, very pretty man.
Yeah.
What were your other standout performances from that Tony Awards? Because there were a lot of really lovely ones.
Well, of course, beautiful with actual Carole King introducing it. That will always kill me. I mean, I cried. Gosh, there's just so many. I mean, the whole thing was just a standout to me in general because I can't pick just one, but if I had to pick like one performance that really stood out was Carole King, of course. That was just beautiful.
I got chills
again.
When you said that.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So good.
I really enjoyed Bullets Over Broadway because for me that one kind of just flew under the radar for me the entire season until I saw the Tony Awards and I was like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't until the next year that I learned about Bullets because it was so far under the radar that like I just never heard about it from any of my friends. And we were on tour as well, so that doesn't help. But I finally learned about it the next year when I was doing a job and someone was talking about it. I was like, what the heck is Bullets Over Broadway? And I was like, that doesn't make sense. Like, is it gangsters? And they're like, yeah. I was like, is it like gangsters and tap shoes? And they were like, yes. And I was like, why don't I know this?
Right?
I feel like someone should have told me about this a long time ago.
It was
actually a great gun mall, man. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
It was a good show. I mean, I liked the Tony performance was definitely great. I mean, seeing the show live was the hot dog song, which is the most inappropriate thing in the entire world. But I remember being like, okay, I enjoy this. You know, maybe it's not as like fun as the producers or some, you know, but this is a fun show to be at. But that hot dog song, I don't think I've hyperventilated that much in a Broadway theater as I did. Why? Like, it wasn't even listening. She was brilliant, and I don't know how she didn't win a Tony Award because she literally had that entire audience like. I mean, it was kind of like watching Springtime for Hitler because you're like, this is happening, and then knowing that Woody Allen, like, he didn't commission any new songs. That's all like standards. You're like, this song existed before this show. What is happening?
It's brilliant.
I don't think I've enjoyed like 6 minutes in a theater more than I did that moment.
I love that.
It was just like, wow, they did this and they didn't beat around the bush at all. Every single person committed to that moment. I don't know. Yeah. It was genius in the worst way possible. Yeah. Sorry. Bullets over Broadway.
It's funny that like we're talking about all these standouts, and then I went back and rewatched the Rocky to bring it back to Rocky the musical. I went back and rewatched the Rocky performance on Tony's, and it was not the same. like because they couldn't do it in their space with the set and with everything that goes into it and the full cast there to do, like we learned when we in the opening of our live stream tonight where we showed like the behind the scenes, and they were talking about how cast members are putting on that makeup as they like step back to like get water or whatever, and then they go back and fight, and you now have like gruesome cuts and stuff. Like you didn't get the opportunity to do that in the Tony performance, and it really was not to sound rude, but like watching a high school performance. Like that's what a high-end high school that got creative about it would be able to put on, which would be very impressive in that situation. But then to watch it on the Tonys, I was like, oh no wonder. Like this was not a great commercial for this show, because there are some wonderful standout moments in Rocky the Musical. And like they talked about in the opening sequence that we watched, there's a lot of heart. And that was something they really did very well in that show. And you just don't get to see any of it in that Tony performance, which made me sad for them. They'd worked so hard. And the fact that, again, full contact, I'm going to do an entire 2.5 hour show and then I'm going to get smacked around. It's great. Like, that's not my ideal, you know? That commitment is incredible.
I mean, they either needed to go full throttle with that fight or do something like Raining, right? And let Margot Sieber just do her brilliant moment. But I think that transitions us to our next question about Rocky, right, Kristina?
Yes. So if you were to pick a song from Rocky to go into your book, what would it be?
Oh, Raining. I am the tiger.
No, wait. I Am the Tiger is not original music.
Doesn't matter.
I need someone to do the Nose Ain't Broke song, girls. Come on. Missed opportunity.
I'm a sucker for a good reprise. So the reprise of Adrian is like gorgeous.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
That is.
I mean, it's all gorgeous. It's Aaron's and Flowery. And I totally forgot about that until I was researching it for this. And I was like, no wonder the music's so amazing. It's them.
Yeah.
No, and Raining and My Nose Ain't Broke are such classic Aaron's and Flaherty ballads. You know, they're beautiful and they're rangy and there's so much emotion in the they have such a sentimentality. I'm just obsessed with them as a team. So we have Raining and Adrian reprise, Eye of the Tiger.
But I'm going to need you to like go in dressed as one of your Disney princesses, Crissy, and sing Eye of the Tiger. That's what I'm going to need to happen. Yes.
Anna's going to walk in after COVID is over, with my book in my hand. I'm just going to,
That's her audition song for Bat Out of Hell. What are you talking about?
There you go.
Okay, ladies, it is late, and I feel like we could totally talk forever, so it's clear we need to do something else at some point, which that might actually be happening, right?
Yeah.
Wink, wink, wink. Kristina, we can't wait to hang out with these ladies again, right?
Cannot wait. So ladies, please tell our guest where they can find you.
Yeah, so you can find us on all streaming platforms for podcast under Breaking the Curtain. We're also on Twitter as Breaking Curtain, and we are on Instagram as Breaking the Curtain.
Great. Now, before I let you actually go, let's really wrap this up. Now, I know that the podcast and the blog had come out of COVID, but what else have you been doing to get creative and stay creative during this time?
Oh, that's a great question.
Yeah, I mean, do you want to go?
No, go ahead.
Well, I mean, for me, it's obviously the blog is great, but when you're working a lot, it's hard to take that time. But for me, it's been taking class. I make sure that I meet up with my voice teacher every so often. And even if it's just singing a song I like to sing for an hour, it makes sure I take that time. And for me, it's like a little exercise. It's a little soul break. I've also been working with Zina Gushtart, who is a choreographer out of the UK. She does the Showbiz Clinic, which is like the whole it's the show business side instead of the acting side, which I felt I never really got to experience. So I've been working with her for about a year, and just she gives amazing pep talks. And actually, Dance 1, 2, 3. I'm going to start doing some dance with them because I need to be moving. So that's awesome. But yeah, taking class. And Crissy's mom just mentioned Frozen parties. Yes, we've been doing little Anna and Elsa parties for kids.
Carol.
It's just so sweet because it's giving something, right? And getting something back in their little smiles.
I just have to mention that I just realized there's a whole comment section on the side. I'm like, wow, hi friends.
We're like 50 minutes into this, but here we are.
So many reasons we have to. Okay, well, before we kick y'all off, I do want, because Jocelyn's camera is working pretty good right now. Jocelyn, is there anything else you want to add to the conversation? I feel like we just want to intently listen to you share with whatever you want to share for a minute or two.
Oh, well, I'm just so thrilled to be here, and I think you guys are fabulous, and I've had so much fun being here, even though my computer might hint otherwise. I'm excited, and it's just been so nice to have a moment where we can all just chat. I mean, you don't really get to do the socialization thing much, and I think that's what Crissy and I like about the podcast thing. We get to talk to each other, and we get to talk to people like you guys who listen.
Amazing.
Definitely.
Also, for anyone who was wondering, in the chat is the Catherine Zeta-Jones clip.
Yes.
Yes. So please go watch that. It's pretty spectacular.
Amazing.
Well, thank you, ladies, so much. We so appreciate you coming and joining us tonight. And we hope to see you very soon.
Very, very soon we will.
Very soon.
Yes. Can't wait. Thank you so much for having us. It's been so much fun.
Thank you.
Bye, ladies.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
So good.
What an amazing conversation. I just love celebrating just amazingness in general, but especially amazing women, and like amazing women who have taken it upon themselves to create beautiful things when the world is sad. I don't know.
No, I agree. It was also nice to chat with people who are still so close to coming out of drama school, and like I remember what that was, right? And I'm sure that during this time of COVID, that must feel so daunting to not be able to jump in the deep end like you are expected to, right? So it's really lovely to see them spirits so high, and I'm on board for it. I am here for it, and I loved it. Thank you so much for all of this, you guys. It's been such a fun night. Thank you to everyone who's been commenting, and Carol, thank you for joining us. Connie, we appreciate you. Also, Gwen! You guys are awesome. Please check out our website, myfavoriteflop.com, where you can find our previous After the Bows with some incredible previous cast members, like Cortez Alexander from Maryland, and he talks all about his time with Liza, and actually being one of the first people to work with Jason Robert Brown when he left school. So just to tie it back into Bridges. But you can also find all of our previous episodes there, or anywhere you listen to podcasts.
And speaking of episodes, next Tuesday, 1 week from today, we'll be releasing episode 11, our big 11 o'clock number.
Ta-da!
Ta-da! Well, it's not really the 11 o'clock because we're taking an intermission, right?
Right.
It's the number before the Act 1 closing, but that'll drop next Tuesday, which we're super excited about.
So excited about. Now, Bobby, you better make sure to give them the clue. We got to give them the clue, just in case.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so the first clue, in case you didn't hear it on the last episode of the podcast, which naughty, you should be listening to it, is that songs from this musical were released as music videos on VHS 4 years before this musical opened on Broadway. Dun, dun, dun.
Laser discs as well. I don't know. That's probably not true. But laser discs, musicals on laser discs is pretty ridiculous. Now, don't forget to follow us on all the socials at myfavoriteflop. Also, you can check out our website, and we're everywhere. Just Google us. Thank you all so much.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Musical misfits. Bye.
You fabulous failures.
Oh, no. That didn't work the same.